Hi Teaquilters, today is Saturday, April 18th, 2020, and it is about 3 minutes before 9 p.m. when we will start the sewing and chat with pineapple blocks. So I see I got some people already in the room, so welcome. So thank you all for coming through. Let me see if I can tilt you around so you see less of my storage container here. This is where the camera normally sits. So, see if I can lift some things up. So, pull this up on my phone. Alrighty, so let's see who's here. We got Quilt Gal here. Hey, welcome. You're the first one to comment in the chat box. She says, hi T and everyone. I started making the Olsen mask. It took me forever today to understand the directions, but I got it now. I'm so ready to see some quilting. Yeah, I think a lot of people that are sewing the mask, it's so funny because I'm in different groups that have absolutely nothing to do with sewing masks. It was even in paper crafting groups. I was like, everybody's tired of making these masks. Diane 57 is here saying good evening. Hi Diane. Mary is here saying, you ladies are early. I'm going to get a snack, headache meds, and be right back. Doris O is here from Glen Allen, Virginia. Says hi T and everyone. I hope everyone is having a good evening and getting a lot of quilting done. And Diane is saying no quilting but working on blocks. And Diane saying she hopes everyone has a project to work on. I saw, I can't remember who because it's my brain just don't operate that way, but somebody posted in Teaquilts that they were putting the binding on a quilt and so that they'd have some hand sewing. So slowing down, Joe is here, says hi T and everybody. Hi, welcome. Maria Mayer is here, says hi T and everyone. Hi Maria. Cherise Fofi is here, says hello T and everyone. Darlene Farmer is also here, says greetings from Northern Virginia. Hello Cherise and Darlene. Donali J is here, says hi T and everyone from District Heights, Maryland. And Kevin the Quilter talking about yes. Love being with my tea quilter friends, especially Madame Queen of Scraps Tea. You need a nap. Even Mike's in here today. He says, hey my sweet girl, miss you, come visit. You want to put me to work, you want me to cook. I video chat with Kevin, I think it was yesterday, and all he said was, come fix my food. Angela Morgan is here, says hi T and everyone. Hi Angela. Judy is here, says hello T and T Quilters. So yes, it's actually 9:01. So I've stopped with Rose Walls being here, says hi T and also glad to see everyone. Now you think I'm gonna remember where I stopped? No. And we've got Vivian Lacey, I think. No, Valerie Lacey says hi T and everyone. I need to do something besides mask. Exactly. So we're on our third sewing chat where I'm working on these pineapple blocks. We did 6 blocks back there, and so I have 6 more that I cut out. I cut a total of 12, so I'm going to continue to sew on these blocks as we chat, but I can't see it because you all are so far away. But I will be checking in with you guys. I had to sew binding on a quilt. That's why I don't have anything on here that's chain pieced. And yeah, I finished the quilt. I actually quilted a quilt since I did it yesterday. It was a small one. It was only 48 by 60, but it's one of those projects off my list. It's actually a project that I did when I met Eric Oda in Houston. I brought some scraps and I worked on some string blocks. It was just a small quilt I wanted to incorporate into my lectures, so that's what it is. That's once I get the binding hand sewed to the back, that will be my second completed project for myself this month. So I've been quilting for other people, and I still got other quilts to quilt for other people, so I kind of put those as priority since I actually get paid, you know. One other thing I did, I was up last night. I had to send out a couple of sympathy cards, and then I missed a couple of birthdays, so I was trying to send those cards out too. Since we didn't meet with Scrap Club, I normally hand them out at Scrap Club, but I had to mail these. And I was online late trying to get addresses. Well, not online. I was online because it was in my email. And then I started scrolling Facebook Marketplace, which I should not do. But I've been looking for the Gemini Junior, and it finally popped up at a price I was willing to pay. So I had my husband ride with me today, and we went and got that and did the whole sanitizing process and everything. But I got a Gemini Junior off of the Marketplace for, I don't know where my other clippers are. They're back in the back hiding. And I'm going to need you too. It's trying to hide. So I paid $75, but then she gave me all the dies that she had as well. And she didn't tell me she was going to do that. And she even had some new additional plates that went with it as well that came with it. So that was a good deal. And I have been looking for the smaller one because I wanted to use it for the foiling press. So now I got a Junior that will work better with the foiling press, because I hear people that have it and have the larger Gemini said that it doesn't work as well with the larger one, even with the adapter plate. So yeah, let's see who else is coming to the room. Let's see. Carolyn Bowser is in saying, good evening, T and fellow quilters. Look like somebody's saying hi to Tucker, so I'm assuming that Tucker came in. Let me go back some more. I didn't go back far enough, apparently. I think I said Angela Morgan. I think I said Judy and Rose Walls. So I said Valerie Lacey. So then Tucker came in. He says, hello, everyone. Hope we are all having a good day. Exactly. We want everybody to have a good day. And Carolyn Bowser says, good evening, T and fellow quilters. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome. Let me know what you all are working on as well in the chat room. Want to know if you are hand sewing or not. Mary's telling that Kevin loved all the chickens. Yeah, Kevin's doing a series. He's got a hen that is brooding, I think he calls it. And so he is videotaping her sitting on the eggs. It's pretty cool. So you all know I've already pressed. When I press my fabric prior to cutting, I put some spray sizing in it. Actually used Best Press this time because I had it. And so all I'm doing is pressing with the wooden iron until I get to the end of my blocks, and then I'll press all of them with a heated iron or traditional iron. Darlene Farmer says, T, did you see my question referencing pre and post Civil War blocks. No, I didn't. I don't know where that question was posted, on which social media, but I did not see it, Darlene. Sorry about that. And then Cheryl Bean is here saying hi, T and everyone. Kevin says if he's not known for quilting, then he's going to be known for chickens. He's very well known for quilting, guys. Kevin also travels and do lectures as well, but nobody is traveling right now. Did you all remember to bring your wine? Cherie says, what fabric shops does anyone recommend to order from since every shop is closed? That's not that. Yeah, that is Cherie's. I'm already sweating, guys, and I got the fan on. Vicky Robles is here. Hi, Vicky. She says, hello, T. Diane, Kevin, Judy, Mary, Valerie, and Rose. She had a whole list. Tiffany is here. Hi, Tiffany. Hope you're having a good day. Let's see. Who else? Somebody says they ordered from Thousands of Boats at Missouri Star for quilt fabric. Mary's asking, what is a Gemini? It's a die cutting machine. Woo. I guess I must be hot flashing more than just the lights today. I haven't had hot flashes in a while, so I guess it's this turn to cycle back around. Thank you, Rose Wall. She says, remember to like this video. Vicky Robles was saying thanks for something, but then it stopped. So I don't know what she's saying. Rose says, as soon as I get Roger settled, I'm going to start the hand stitching on my binding. So that was Rose in Teaquilts that showed her sewing machine as she was finishing up the binding on a quilt. I read so much on social media, then I can't remember who posted what. Vicky says, I will try this again. Thank you, T, for sharing about the Filty filters. I ordered a package of them, but now I wish I had ordered more. Yeah, I ordered it's either 20 or 22 square inches because it's really weird how they got it marked off, and it ended up being about 3 yards of material that might be about 22 inches wide. So when you say 22 square inches, that's not very big, but I think the company may have had a typo or something, or didn't know what they were really saying. But I got plenty of it, and I do wish I had gotten a little more, but I'm hoping I have enough to finish what I need to do. So I still got a few masks to make, at least 6 right now for family, and it probably will increase if our stay-at-home order gets extended. But I did masks Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before I went live, and I decided I wasn't doing any more masks this week. So this is the last day. I still haven't made my husband mask, but he can't wear it at work, and he only needs it when he's going to the grocery store, and we don't need to go to the grocery store right now. So yeah. I don't really want to make another mask. But I will. And I guess while I'm making them, I'll make myself another one, another tie-on. I got one tie-on, so I'll make myself a second tie-on. I do like that as far as nothing's bothering my glasses that are on my ears. We have, and so Vicky, also you're welcome. I don't know if I told you that, but you're welcome. And Darlene says, okay, just send it to me again, Darlene, if I didn't get it. I don't know how you sent it, so just send it to me again. Rose Wall says, I have been wondering about Eric too. Eric hasn't been in here for a while, and so that is some concern, but I did see that he had posted something on his Facebook page, so hopefully he's not sick or anything. Don't want that. Peggy is here. Peggy O'Connor says, hi, T&T Quilters. Hey, Peggy. She's here in the St. Louis area with me. She's a member of the Scrap Quilting Club. We got Claudette Bettis here. She says, hello, TN everyone. Hi, Claudette. Welcome. And then Kevin, he says, everybody, seriously, T is an excellent chef. That's why we want her to cook for us, laughing out loud. I just like good tasting food. I'll eat okay food, but sometimes I'll decide, if I'm going to get fat from it, I don't eat certain things if it's not good. So, good food make you fat. So I've been cooking more lately than I have in a long, long time. I've been cooking, but not figuring out a meal every day. And it's so funny because my husband's just like a little kid now. Every time it's time to eat, he's just wandering around. Then he just stops and look at me. I'm like, what do you want? You want me to feed you, right? Yeah. He says he's not doing it, but I'm like, that's what you're doing. So yeah. Today and yesterday, I found an easy meal. I went back to using the air fryer. I stopped using the air fryer because we got a small one and I keep meaning to get a larger one. I got a smaller one just to test it out and see if I would like it. But we can only cook like maybe 2 or 3 pieces of chicken at a time. Or like 1 pork chop will go in there, 1 hamburger. It's a small one. You'll have a little room left, but you're not going to be able to have enough room to get that second thing in there, especially a pork chop. But yesterday we did pork chops in there, and they were really good, so that was an easy, quick meal. Trying to make sure I got the 4th one on there. Yep. So, yeah. And then we also had, because you can only cook 1 at a time, we also cooked that same thing today. He hasn't even made his yet, but I made mine before I got on live. Because I didn't want to come on here hungry. We got Cheryl Randall saying hello. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome to the chat. We're just sewing pineapple blocks for people that don't know what I'm doing. It's the block back here. On the wall back there, I sewed 6. Previously, this is our 3rd talk and chat while I'm sewing the pineapple blocks. I'm working on the 2nd set of 6. I have 6 already made. Tiffany says that I'm just blah, just feeding kids. That's why I can't see the chat. Okay. But hopefully she'll get better soon. I think I'm done with all of these. Apparently I cut some extra pieces. I probably just cut a whole strip. Didn't worry about counting. Slowing down Joe says she's got peach brandy. That's right. Mary says she made old-fashioned. I made an old-fashioned champagne. I don't know. She's got a glass down there. Vicky says we had rum and cokes and delicious barbecue burgers with all the trimmings. Yes. I don't normally buy too much alcohol that I put in my house, but I went to the store and bought 2 bottles of Moscato. I said, we're going to be in the house locked in. I might need a drink to put me to sleep or something, because sometimes, I'm telling you, the news is so bad that I can't sleep. So, let's just hope I don't go to sleep on this live chat. Cherie says, I get private summers. Karen Notley is here, says, hiya T, great to see you live. It's lunchtime here. All right. And Kevin calls you a hot tea. Shut up, Kevin. So I got the whites around, all 6 of them. So now I'm going to put teals and greens on opposite sides. So I'm just going to pull those stacks down. Let's see. I'm sure I'm so far behind in the chat comments. Darlene Farmer says, Quilt family, a few of you know that I am a genealogist historian. I was looking through a book on slaves who talked about making quilts. I was wondering if you guys know anything about these blocks. Okay. I don't know anything about them personally, but if I saw some, maybe. Only thing I can remember, and you probably already know, is that they used black in the center of some of the log cabin blocks, and then they had probably North Star to tell them which direction to go. I have done 2. I've done an Underground Railroad quilt, and I've also done codes of the Underground Railroad quilt. So I have done 2 quilts. I gave one to my brother that passed, and I went looking for the quilt so I could give it to my niece, and the quilt was gone. I think his girlfriend kept it. So let's see. Dee Dee Hansen is here. Hi, Dee Dee. She says, just found you, so I'm here still making masks. You a godsend. Good for you. I can't do it. I did have a couple of people contacting me online wanting me to make a mask, and I did. I made them 1. If they wanted more than 1, that's when I asked them for $5, but I don't really want to make masks. I'll make a person 1 though if you don't have any, especially if you're essential. I'll you know, make them 1, but I don't really want to get into the mask making business. I've done my charity work. I just don't like it. And now Vicky is saying that her governor is saying only, that's Vicky Lemire, saying only 2 people in a car. Woohoo! It's getting serious out here in these streets. Vicky says, I have to start making, I'm thinking the mask, waiting for those washable filters that can be sewn in that T told us about. Well, you can get your cutting done, girl. You can get your cutting done, and maybe if you're doing tie-ons, you can go ahead and start working on your tie-ons, because that's the most time-consuming part, is tying the pieces on. Cool Gal says she's still waiting on her filties. It's coming up by UPS, second day error. Must be out of fuel, laughing out loud. God. I told you it took me like 1 day shy of 2 weeks. If you want to count the whole day, then it was a week, 2 weeks to get it. So it takes a while to get the filty. That's because they didn't think as many quilters would purchase it when they opened it up for us to be able to buy it. I think we overwhelmed them with orders, but that's a good thing. Darlene's farmer says breakfast dish, pickled pear, birds all over the element, and half an orange, and cotton leaf. And I've never heard of those affiliated with Underground Railroad or black quilts. I don't know anything about them. It's interesting though. That one's ready for the other side. Sharon Patmore is here. I don't know if I said her name before. Welcome to chat if I didn't. Lisa Pegg is here. She says hello to you and everyone. Hi, Lisa. I'm so far behind because I'm sewing, guys. Let's see. Darlene saying number 6 is Little Boy Breeches, Log Cabin in the Lane, and Whirligig. I didn't know Whirligig had anything to do with that. I do know the Whirligig block. That's the only one that I've heard of. I do have some block books, but I think they just give you the name, when it was created, and who created it if it's available. Linda Griffin is here. She says hi, T and everyone. Hi, Linda. Welcome. And Mary said that's why she used real butter and sugar, because if she's gonna make something, she's not gonna use the substitutes. I use real items when I'm baking as well, when I'm cooking. If I'm making something and it calls for something and it's a process to make, I'm using all the real stuff as well. I think everything has 2 on it, because I cut extra pieces just so I could have choices here. So we shall see. Vicky saying, I do have the Underground Railroad quilt book. I've had that book for so many years. My youngest son was in the 8th grade and told his teacher all about it. That was 29 years ago. I made the quilt, gave it to my brother. Then I made me an Underground Railroad quilt code. And then I had a friend that passed, and she has blocks that she was working on. And I'm not sure where she is in the process, but I kept her block so that I would one day finish it off for a quilt for myself. And I may end up making another one that I give to my niece, since hers was stolen from her. Cheryl Bean is talking to Darlene. She said there's a book by Barbara Braxton about quilts of the slavery era. It explains the different blocks and what they mean. Hopes that helps. I know she's done block books, but I didn't know she had one just on the slavery blocks. Interesting information. Okay, that's so. Got stuck in that corner. Mary says, I love Moscato. Diane says, I have 99 proof peach knops. You're going to be drunk. Okay, I'm sewing this one on the wrong side. I'm looking at the right side. It's one of those fossil fern fabrics that you can't really tell until you get it under a whole lot of bright light, and then it's like obvious that it's on the wrong side. So I had to break my chain for that. At least I didn't sew the whole seam. As I sew, so shall I rip. I know Diane's talking about make her a shirt with that. I totally forgot. Mary is saying that they studied the Underground Railroad music. Hi, Kim Burris is here. She says, hi, everyone. Hi, T. Hi, Kim. Welcome. I gotta cut these and press the seams. Vicky says, oh, you are just saying that so you don't get in trouble for being intoxicated, laughing out loud. You know what? If I drink anything, it just makes me sleepy. I have never been drunk. I just tend to go to sleep. I don't drink hard liquor. A beer here and there, a Bud Light, that's about all, and Moscato. That's about it for me. I'm not a true drinker. So many churches are going online for services, so why take the chance of getting the virus? Dee Dee says, I'm waiting for my second batch of Quilty fabric. Okay, she said, I ordered a lot this time. It has also been shipped. I feel much better about the mask if they have the Quilty in them. And that's what I said. And that's why I even put the polypropylene in, because I felt like something in there was better than nothing. And I felt like it repelled, and you could still breathe through it. because I didn't want to put something in the mask that you couldn't breathe through. But I did appreciate having the Quilty. And even in my mask, I did a test where I still put polypropylene and one of the Quilties in my mask. And I like that too. So I got double layer on the inside. And you could also do a double layer of the Quilty. I need to just go ahead and cut the rest of mine down into filter size to see how many more can I make, to see if I need to order more, because if my family need them, I'm going to need a whole lot more Quilty fabric. So I did some for family, but I haven't done every member. Have one niece that works for Terminex, and she wanted mice and bugs. I did not have mice fabric, but I did happen to have one that had roaches and yellow jackets and stuff on it. So I had 2 fabrics. I just made all 6 of hers. She wanted 6, so I made all of them on those 2 fabrics, 3 of each. Got a nephew that does racing. I had some blue flame and some orange flame, red flame, whatever color that fabric is, off black. I made his out of those. So if I have a scrap of something that they like, I try to go ahead and make it so it relates to them. We're almost finished with our first color round. So we've gone around twice now. Got 2 more pieces to sew. And then I'll try to read some comments so I can get caught up. Got a couple of extra pieces. We'll be going to the light background fabric next. Well, let's see if I can get caught up in the chat or get caught up a little bit more. Linda Griffin says, I ordered the Quilty recently as well. I'm making more masks for friends and family. Kim says, I have Eleanor Burns quilt book, Underground Railroad. Beautiful blocks, yes. And you got different settings too, which is another reason I like Eleanor Burns' book. You're not all stuck with the same setting. And you can decide how much work you want to put into finishing off your quilt top. Lisa Pegg says, her iron dryer, what do you recommend? Something that's under $30. Sadly, because they just don't last long. I don't know. Somebody that love your iron, you can chime in here, but I've had the Olifa iron. I've had Rowintas, various Rowintas. I've even had the Rowinta 2 different steam generators. I've had the Bernina iron. It was called the Burnett. And the cheaper irons work just as well. I just try to find one that's heavy. I tend to like a heavy iron. So that's why I say under $30, because sometimes if you get the $15 to $20 ones, they're kind of the real small ones. I like a heavy iron, but I also have the Panasonics that are cordless, but I use those when I'm mostly just doing piecing, like in between seams, because they're so small that if you're trying to iron yardage, you're going to be forever and a day trying to do that. But I do like the cordless iron because I don't have the cord wrinkling up my material when I'm ironing. And I haven't had any problems with that iron. Actually, that Panasonic iron has worked very well for me, so very good. Vicky says she has that book too, talking to Kim, talking about Eleanor Burns' book. Vicky also saying, I love my Alicio and I love my cordless Panasonic. I think I mentioned those two. My Alicio, for me, I'm a person that quilts every day, for the most part, all day until I sleep. And so my iron is on for a good chunk of time. So, and those irons don't have auto shut off. And I don't know if I would really want it to, because when I go to iron, I want it to be ready to go. So I'm just hard on irons. So I've just come to the conclusion that I'm not going to spend a whole lot of money on irons anymore. Kim says, I also have one and out Civil War prints and blocks. I love both books. Vicky said, this is not a quilt. These are blocks in general made by slaves and probably free people too. I will do some research on these. Thanks again, guys. You're welcome, Darlene. She was just trying to see if we had ever heard of those names of blocks. Doris O says, I finally finished my Underground Railroad blocks UFO after 12 years. All right, it's still a UFO, Doris. You got to get it finished. Cherie says, someone told me that Underground Railroad quilts was a myth. I don't know if that's true or not, but I love the idea of it. I made 3 of them so far. I think some people say they're a myth, and I believe that they're true because I've read some older books before this even became popular with quilters, where they were talking about the blocks being posted. So I don't know. I believe it's true. You should have a belief. You have a belief whether you believe in God or not. You know, there's you got person on the opposite side. They have their good points about there is no God, but I believe there is a God. So it's just everybody has their own beliefs. Do you believe in ghosts? I believe in them. I just don't want to meet with one. I've never met with one. I've heard from family members that have had encounters with ghosts. Doris O says, what are the names of some good wines? I only like the sweet ones. I hope you all have given her some because I am not the expert. Mary is telling her Moscato, Riscata. And I think, like, isn't Zinfandel's sweet as well? It's a white wine. Sharon says, good night, everyone. Have to go. Stay healthy. You too, Sharon. She's probably gone, but tell her anyway. And Vicky is saying the quilt is not a myth. It was used to navigate runaways from station to station. It also lets runaways know which family to run for protection, such as the Quakers and the conductors. T, what blocks are you making? Colors are gorgeous. I'm making pineapple blocks that I cut from the AccuQuilt pineapple die. We're on 3rd session of sewing this project, Kim. I did an intro in the first one. I did an intro and showed everybody the die and how I marked my die so I can cut it out and everything like that. Vicky said a lot of people who were helping the slaves run away made quilts with a pattern code telling them which way to go. And that's what I'm thinking the blocks that Darlene must have are those type of blocks that were like an internal code that we never got the meaning of. Because if I remember correctly, some of the ladies, when they were interviewed, that these blocks came from their mother and grandmothers, and these ladies were pretty old themselves. They were saying that they couldn't remember all the history, but they do remember that whole process going on. And I'm not even sure if those ladies are alive, because I'm sure that's been over 10 years ago that I had that, saw that interview. It was on some documentary. I don't know if it was on PBS or something else. Kim Burris is telling Dara St. James Winery make some delicious fruit wines. Blackberry, strawberry, peach, cherry, blueberry, all good. Cherie says, I believe it's not a myth. Honestly, if you wanted to keep something a secret, you wouldn't tell everyone who didn't need to know. I was just wondering if anyone else heard that it was a myth. And Peggy is telling you that she loves her Sunbeam iron doors. It's got a retractable cord, which is nice. That's nice. I had a Oryx iron that I got from Oryx that I bought a vacuum, and then they gave me the iron for free, and that was a pretty good iron until until it died, but it took years for it to die. Berry wines, they're talking about Chardonnays, Merlots, and some heavier reds. Mary says, T, do you use steam in your iron or not? Yes, I do. So that's part of the problem too. I just like steam. My phone is spooling again, so I did restart. So just letting you all know in case I conk out here. Underground Railroad was a myth to slave owners. Initially, it took owners a long while to understand what was going on. Lisa Pegg says Missouri Star Quilt Company, I'm assuming, has a whole group of Civil War fabrics and may have books as well. A lot of quilters feel that buy cheap and just keep buying and you will save a lot of money, laughing out loud. Regarding irons, this is from Rose. She says, I have a Black & Decker that I love and wore it out. Went back and got the same model and it was not near as good. It would turn off while using it. And that's the problem that I've had. I had a very good old Black & Decker iron. And then, they just don't make things like they used to anymore. I know, just think about our appliances where we had appliances for our whole entire life. I've had where my mom has had her same refrigerator for over 30, 40 years and stuff gets passed down when people pass, But nowadays, you buy a refrigerator and they're telling you it's got a 5 to 7 year lifespan, So they're not making things to last. That's because they don't make money. So that's another reason stuff isn't lasting. And Rose is saying, T, glad to hear you still like the Panasonic iron. I was wondering about that the other day. Yes, Zinfandel is sweet. Also, blackberry and grape. People are talking about us, various people. I've been skipping the comments saying that they believe in spirits. Talking about the alcohol. Actually, I believe that Zinfandel has a peppery taste to it. I don't know. Because I like Zinfandel so long as it's not something that makes me thirsty on the end. If it's not dry, then I'm okay with it. Rose says, I had a $50 shark that lasted almost 20 years, but it always shut off too soon. And I have had irons that had auto shut off. And, you just wake them back up. You just got to wait a little bit. They didn't, to me, last any longer than the other ones when they're on all day. So it didn't make too much of a difference. Vicky talking about we should make a wine quilt with all the names on it and arrows showing where the nearest winery is. I actually made a little winery wall hanging. I made a bottle and I just labeled it the name of a mythical winery because I have never been to a winery in all honesty. Tiffany is saying something about just letting everyone know that who has acid issues that Jared, like that the FDA banned Ranitidine. I don't know what that is. Zantac. And she says, I just got a letter in today's mail about it. Now I got to go back to doctor for something different. And Darlene says, I will eventually put my family tree on a quilt. And I have done like a family tree with my grandmother and her children. And then at the time, I used a tree. And then I used like Easter eggs for their photos or the shape, more oval shapes for their photos. And then the ones that were deceased, their branch was broken from the tree, so their egg wasn't hanging on the tree. So she really liked it. She had it the entire time she was alive. And I don't know who has it after she passed, so that's really interesting. And I made one for myself too, just in case it never came back to me, and it didn't. So that's a great idea, Darlene. Doris always thanking everybody for names of wines. June Hanson is here, says, hi, Miss T and everyone. Hi, June. Well, you can see we're doing a whole lot of sewing. My brother is here. He says, hey, sis, I'm here. Hi, everyone. Didn't get the notice. And that happens sometimes where you have 10,000 subscribers who is, probably half of them have hit the bell, and then everybody don't get notified. You were just that lucky one this time. Oh, Darlene says she's gone back to the 1700s researching her family and trying to figure out how to do it. So that's pretty cool. All right. So I'm through the comments. We're going to go back to doing some sewing. Let me get myself in my chair. And my back thing keeps falling out. So, time to sew on our next sides. She's asking me about the family tree quilt. That quilt's like buried in my stack of quilts downstairs. So, whenever I come across it, it'll be a while. Especially since I'm not doing any lectures. When I'm doing lectures, it takes me... I start 2 days before pulling quilts just to make sure that I'm not overworking myself, because I have so many quilts that I have to sort through. I got them kind of grouped by lecture, but then some quilts cross over into other categories. So that would be a while. And it's like very old. It's not anything fantastic. On my grandmother's, I just made hers the tree with the tree with her children, and then on mine I added photos around it in the borders so that I could have her grandkids and great grandkids in the quilt as well. But if I come across it, I'll do it. Vicky Robles gotta go, says hubby needs his attention now, and so does the doggy, and they are both males. Bye, Vicky. Lisa says, Rose, I thought of all the handling this coronacation was tough, but choosing a new iron. And T, yes, your family tree quilt, please. Okay, bye, Tiffany. And what time is it? It's 9:52, so we've been on 54 minutes because I came on a little early to make sure I was in the room on time. Tarena is saying hi to everyone. Hi. Are you sewing too? Are you going to be a quilter? Bye, Darlene. She says it's almost 11. Want to go listen to radio drama Sherlock Holmes. And Tiffany said Triana is saying, I don't know how you say her name. Tiana is saying hi too. I have to hear Tiffany say it. Next time I go back over there. Okay. I don't know if I ever showed you where we are on the blocks. We're putting on the whites on 4 sides. I know I told you, but I don't think I showed you. Triana. Okay, thank you, Tiffany. When I saw it was, okay, I thought when you first put it in that it was TIR. So maybe I saw things that I didn't see. Sorry about that. I thought I saw TIR. Okay, I just misread it. Sorry about that. Hi, Triana. Yes, it is a different name, Tiffany. It's beautiful. I love it. I love different names. June says, I bought a new iron back in Black & Decker and was under $10. My last one lasted 20 years. It was leaking, so she had to go. Kim says, I just got my Creative Grids pineapple trim ruler. Can't wait to use it. I can't remember if I have that one or not, but I know I've got probably a couple of pineapple rulers. But it didn't motivate me to do it, so I made a block with Guyleen Fitzgerald one, and I think because I didn't know when I bought the ruler that you need the book for the instructions, that it just didn't work for me, and I've never tried it again. I don't think I'm going to make any more of these blocks. I think I might cut out some different fabrics and then make a different style of pineapple block maybe after I get this top completed. since I don't need this particular project. And I have to talk to myself about everything I make being super large. It's like, girl, you can make just a sample of something. You don't have to make a big bed quilt out of everything. So we're going to keep this small. I think we got one more white to put on. I haven't been doing much sipping, have I? Just feels weird to drink in front of the camera. Does that one got 4? Yep. So trying to get 4 whites. And any extra pieces that I got here can go in my next project as well. I think I'm just going to make one all scrappy, any colors. Any fabrics I can find. Well, it's not going to be hard to find any. I guess I should say any fabric I put my hands on. Yes, I can find plenty. It's looking me square in the eye. I did start recording some stuff on my Butler too. I just need to now edit. I think I'm done with this stack. Mary says, I'm thinking about doing the same thing, 2T, downsizing my quilts. Calvin the Quilter says, if you want to see some eye candy quilts, ask T to come visit your group or guild to speak. Gorgeous scrappy quilts. Just don't ask her if you can take one home with you, laughing out loud. Yeah, it's like, I don't show everything on my YouTube channel, because then there would be no need for people to hire me to come to their guild. So I don't show everything that I do or that I have. If it's part of a lecture, sometimes I've given you all sneak peeks in some of my chats where I would like take a subject and show you a few quilts from some of my lectures. But for the most part, I don't tend to show a whole lot of quilts that are in my lecture just because they are lecture quilts. So I can't put everything on YouTube, then I will not have an element of surprise when I show up. Triana is too cute. And Mary is saying, Kevin, I thought about that. She needs to come to Topeka. I have been to Kansas once. I can't remember which area I was in. It wasn't too far in off of Highway 44. Parson, Kansas, or I can't remember. It began with a P. So I have been to Kansas, and I've been over into Joplin a lot. They got 2 guilds that I went to in Joplin. Nice quilt guilds. Okay, so we're on, this is where we are now. We're on our next color round. So let me pull those down. Kim says the same thing. Any fabric I can grab. Sounds like her. Judy says drinking while quarantine is a good thing. Let me take a drink. Thank you, Judy. I put ice in here to keep it cold. It's don't water down the drink because I haven't been drinking it. And Judy says, laughing out loud, I got me some margarita mix. Those margaritas in the bags that you can buy at the store, those things are really good. I like the peach one. That's my favorite. Get this one off so I can press all these seams open. And Mary's saying, get to sipping, girl. Kim says a friend in Granite City has one of those AccuQuilt systems. She really likes it. I love it. I am so glad that they came out with that. I'm so glad that I bought it. When it first came out, I was not a diehard fan of it. It was the studio was in the quilt stores, and you had to buy time to use it and buy your fabrics there. And it's like, okay, I've been shopping in your store for 10 plus years. I got enough fabric. You saying I can't even bring my own fabric in and cut? So I didn't really like that part. So yeah, but you know, eventually the Go came out, and then I got the Go. I wasn't one of the, I think I got it pretty early, but I wasn't like the first. I may have went to maybe 3 or 4 national quilt shows before I actually decided to buy it. Make sure this is a green one. Yes. So I love the die cutting system. Kevin has the studio as well. He loves it too. Has anybody used Martelli's binding system? Somebody came up and gave me that system, and you all know I don't buy too much Martelli. And I am going to try to see if I can use it on a sample, because I'm not going to do it on a big quilt. But I will try it out on just like 2 pieces of fabric with some batting held between to try it out. But if anybody has used the Martelli binding system, let me know if you like it or not. Tiffany says, I broke my own strike today and made 2 masks because my daughter's work is required to wear them. So I made her 2 because she didn't know how to sew. That was a good one to strike for, though. Parsons, yeah, okay. So that's the one that's close. I thought it was Parsons, but sometimes I make up names, you know. And that was a huge gill in Parsons as well. I don't know if it still is. I had a friend that used to be a member there. She passed away. Her name was Mary LeClaire. I miss her. She was a master quilter. Her blog is still up. If you go look up her blog, Mary LeClaire, it's some beautiful work on that blog. Oh, I gotta press these because I can't see the color fabric underneath. And we're trying not to use the same fabric in the block. But I did it once on the last set of 6. So let me press seams. Even with pressing the seams, I did it. Apparently, I can't talk and choose fabric, so I'm sure I can't talk, drink, and choose fabric. That would be asking for too much. I got too many pieces of fabric. I think this one needs to come off so I can press it over. And Mary's telling Tiff, I can't believe you have a child who doesn't sew. I have one. They don't want to sew. I figure maybe they'll come back to it once all the other excitement is out of their lives. Diane 57 says she loves AccuQuilt. And Tiffany says she did try, but she's lost and confused, wasting fabric, so I stepped in. There was this funny video going around about this lady. She says they told me it was easy to make a mask. They say it's easy to make a mask or something. And she's making this mask, and it is hilarious. It's only about a 5-minute video, and it is super hilarious. She's coming back with Band-Aids. She's drinking. I didn't post it in Teaquilts, but I should have. It was hilarious. June is telling Kevin that she had to buy eggs today. It was $3 a dozen. I know a gal gonna talk to her. Yeah, everything is expensive now. We had 2 national food chain stores here, and one got bought out last year by the other. And ever since that chain got bought out, our food has been higher here. It's ridiculous. And now that we've got the pandemic stuff going on, we're even more, it's even higher. I bought my daughter, she wanted some chicken legs. So I bought her, I got 2 over there. I'm done with that, I think. I bought her 6. It was a pack of 6 because they didn't have many, because we also have a food shortage because of plants closing. And 6 chicken legs cost me almost $11. It's ridiculous. A whole chicken was almost $12. It's ridiculous. And all they did to make it seem like they did something was they cut the chicken in half so that they could wrap it in the package on that plastic thing instead of just being the chicken in a bag. Yeah. Expensive. That's another good reason for my friend Kevin to be growing his own food. He has a garden as well. He can't grow everything, or he has to go to the store for some things, but he can do a good chunk at home, which is really nice. Me, if I try to garden, the squirrels would eat it all. I don't care what I do. And Kevin says that the studio die cutter has been one of his best investments in my quilting studio. And if you, I think the main thing is you've got to put it out so you have a place to use it. And once you do that, it's on and popping. So this one will be ready next. Mary says there's nothing else to do in Parsons. Trying to make sure I got this piece of fossil fern again. I'm trying to make sure it's on the right side. It's making me paranoid. So that one's been used. Mary talking about I either drink or sew. Kim says at my local Walmart a week ago I got 5 dozen eggs for $3.88, one big box. And I go to Sam's and I get the 2 cartons of 18 for around that price. So I try to buy as much as I can from Sam's and then go to the big grocery store to get what I can't get from Sam's. Just because it's so expensive. This one's already in there. Maybe. Might be a different fabric. I see some subtle differences. Alright, so we should have teal on one side of everything. But this one's been pressed ready to go. So we'll put this one on and then press the others. You all didn't tell me what you all were sewing on today, if you were sewing at all. Maybe you're just sitting in the typing in the chat box, taking a break from mask making, which I fully understand. Okay. They were $4 last week because she has chickens also, not bad. So they going to people that raise their own chickens, which is, those are some good eggs. Peggy says, okay, I just cut my swap blocks down to 10 1/2 so I can put frames on. I swear I had 53 blocks, but now only 48. Where did those blocks sneak off to? That always happens. That's what was happening when I was counting people blocks. I'm like, I come up with one number and then I come up with another number. Then I got to count it a third time. It's like, you know what? I'm not counting any more blocks. I'm going to take people's word for whatever they say they sent. Call it a day. It was getting to be a bit much. I like the end result of the pineapple blocks. Maybe I'm just tired of making this kind. Maybe I want to do a different style. I'm bored now. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm bored. It's like the same thing over and over. And then I'll cut some different fabrics and probably sew a couple blocks and be tired of those too. But you gotta sew it in order to make a quilt. There's no way around it. So get to it. I haven't done any of the quarantine sew-alongs. I've been downloading patterns, but I haven't sewed a thing as far as the quarantine is concerned. I've been trying to get stuff that I need to get done. And my next project is another big quilt. So it's going to be Kevin's Sapphire Stars that we're going to do in the sew-along. So if you are a member of Teaquilts or not a member of Teaquilts Facebook group, now would be a time to go over there and join. Because you got to be a member of that group in order to get into the sew-along group. So we will be opening that up. I don't know what date. I thought I would have it open at the beginning of the month, but I've been working on different stuff, so I haven't had time. I haven't even started the quilt, so we'll all be doing it together. But Kevin's got very good directions. So, and stories into his directions as well. So it'll be interesting read as well. And even some education on his take on string quilts as well. So a lot of information. Oh, Lisa says she saw that video with the lady, so she was laughing her butt off. Yes, honey, it was so funny. And then I had seen that one, and then Kevin sent me another video in Messenger, and it was this couple just, she was feeding her husband, but she was on the floor behind him, and her hands was feeding him, and she couldn't see what was on the table and where it was. That was hilarious. It had me in tears. I was laughing and crying so hard. Hilarious. And Mary says that gal is so funny. The way she cut her elastic and then she put her mask on. Yes, so some of y'all have seen it, so that's pretty good. Mary's asking Kevin, what does he grow? I don't know if he's still here. Oh, he's here. He says, I'm going to come over to your place and take care of Squirrely and Shirley. Yes, Lord. But like I said, I heard that when one set of squirrels need a nest, more come. I think I'm going to, I talked to my husband. When we first moved into this house, that tree is a beautiful tree. But, you know, it does like 3 or 4 different types of stuff that drops out of it during the year. And none of it is pleasant. And my sinuses, they have little green balls. And then when you step on them, they do turn brown. But when you step on them, they just turn to dust. And so with my allergies, it wasn't good for my allergies. So that's horrible. And then you walk all of that stuff into your front door. And my husband, he is not going to take his shoes off at the front door every time he come in. He'll do it when it's snowing and sometimes when it's raining. But that stuff be tracked all into the house. And I'm constantly cleaning that kind of stuff up. And he finally agreed when the squirrels cut my wires in my car that we can get some estimates to see what it would take to cut this tree. Now this tree is probably 4 stories tall. It's a huge tree, and I really hate to cut the tree, but it has not been a pleasant experience. It's a beautiful tree. There's nothing dying on the tree. I really hate that I would do that, but it has been nothing but problems, and the squirrels live in this tree because you know, it's other ones in the neighborhood, but I'm the one that has it in my particular area. So they all stay in my tree because I'm the one that feed them. They eat those gumballs, which I can't even understand why you would want to. Ooh, but that's what they're eating. I don't like squirrels. June says, I watched some of her and she didn't have her glasses on. Then she said she was using scissors and cut her fingers. And then, right, and it was hilarious when she came back with her hands all wrapped up. And Kevin's telling Mary all of your typical summer garden fare. Dee Dee says, be careful. I got those plastic clips under my iron. Boy, got it. They melted on the iron and became a plastic blob. Wow. I have never ironed one of those by mistake. I could see that they would melt, though, because they're just plastic. Our pens were melting until we started buying glass head pens. So Kevin says he cans pickles and salsa. And June's asking, did she ever get that mask made? Because she had to go. I can't even remember at the end if she had the mask because I was laughing so hard. That was hilarious. I'm going to have to put it in Teaquilts group. I'm going to have to watch it again. And Mary says, Diane, that's what a friend of mine does with a pellet gun. And, or you could just shoot them. They could be very nasty. That's what my brother offered to do. He's like, I'll just come shoot them. But, you know, we have laws in our county where you can't use BB guns. You can't use any guns out here. Unless you have it concealed, but you ain't supposed to be using it unless you're doing self-protection. But they even included BB guns. And Diane talking about they'll be very tasty. I don't know who would know because I'm not going to go out and get a dead squirrel and eat it, skin it and eat it. Nobody. We had those balls on trees as kids, and the little pieces that came out of them are seeds. I know they're seeds, but they turn into, they look like grapes. They're all they all together like grapes on a vine. But then when you touch it, it goes into powder. If you cut the tree, you lose the shade. So more air conditioning in St. Louis where it is hot, hot, hot. The back of my house is where the sun is in the evening, which is the worst sun. This tree is in my front yard. So it does provide a little shade, but not a lot. It provides morning shade, which the morning sun isn't that hot. And like I said, I might end up planting something else that's more like an evergreen, something that doesn't like give me a whole lot of leaves because I'm getting older too. So that may be that might be a replacement for that. I don't mind having a big evergreen there. My dad hated that dang tree, and we always had to rake the grass before playing outside. They are so sharp step on when they turn brown. Yes. And the other thing is, if you step them into your lawn, you're just putting big holes into your lawn. So we can't. I don't walk across the lawn because I don't want to walk them into my lawn, which is my lawn's pretty decent. We just gotta remember not to walk them in. And then you clean them up. One day you rake them and you can have two of those disposable bags, yard bags full. And then you come back out the next day and they back out there again. It's ridiculous. June Hanson, but I bought an old wash tub and gun. Oh, God. Dee Dee says the mask did not work in the end. That was when she started drinking. That's what I didn't think. I didn't think she got it on. And then she says, then in her southern accents, we ain't going for perfection, just protection. I was laughing so hard by the time I got to the end. I was like, I just can't. And I didn't even share it. I don't know why I didn't share it, but I didn't. say she was hand sewing at the end. Kayla is here. Hi, Kayla. She says, my great aunt always ate squirrel brains and scrambled eggs. She was really smart, though. Not me. See, I'm going to put veggies in it this year to start early to plant. Anyone wants some snow? It's free. That's Vicky. No, we don't want any snow. No, we don't. I know Chicago has some snow, too. My niece is there. Do you mind pine trees and pine cones? I don't know if I want pine cones dropping either. Because it's all, I still got to rake them up. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out something. Something that don't, like I got a bush out there, and my bush don't do a thing. All I have to do is trim it in the spring, and then it just sits there and be pretty. Don't cause me any trouble. So before I replace the tree, I will most definitely be talking to people in the garden stores to see what I should get. So I hate to cut a tree down, I really do. But I just can't do that tree anymore. Just can't do it. I gotta move the stack so I can press this and know it's being pressed. And I can't get a tree that bloom. I like those trees. They're so pretty, but that doesn't help my sinuses either. So I have issues and concerns. But I do know I'm going to at least get bids to see what they want to take the tree down. And then I think my husband's going to have to end up getting the stump out, because I think that's where they really want the money, is taking out the stump. Like, it gets really costly at that point. I'm already anticipating the worst, so I won't be shocked thinking that maybe they're going to want like $5,000 or something. I hope not, but I'm trying to make myself so I don't pass out. Like I said, it's about 4 stories high. It's a pretty big tree. Don't plant anything. Get the stump grinder and plant grass. Yes. I just feel bad about getting rid of the tree, but I know my neighbors will probably be happy too, because it's all in the street. You know, we, like I said, we clean it up one day and come back out in the morning and it's right back out there, and it's like, I'm not going to clean this up every day. I have quilts to make. And my husband, he's working, so he definitely not going to clean it every day. So I'm sure my neighbors would appreciate it. I'm going all around with the light color background now. Piece number 1 is on. Going for number 2. Another drink. Palm trees from Mary is a suggestion. Tiffany said, palm trees are crazy. Here, every yard is decorated with different style palms, and the tall ones are everywhere. Diane says, they grind down. She's talking about the stump these days, so no hole to fill. And that's what I was thinking, if they charge too much to do the stump. My husband, he got, you know, he can saw some of that out and then just do it over time, and then because you got to get the roots and everything out the yard. Kevin says, can't keep my eyes open, T. Thanks for the fun. live tonight. Nighty night, everybody. Bye, Kevin. Good night, honey. See ya. Kim says if they leave a stump, have them hollow it out, fill with potting soil, and plant flowers. And that's what my husband can do, whatever, because I've seen people even decorate their stumps and use them. But I definitely don't want the tree stuff growing back, so have to make sure I get it to the point where it's not going to grow back. June says, I had a woodpecker. He was so bad he would peck at the house tree. It's gone, and so is he now. It went across town. My sister-in-law is complaining, so I know it's him. She is too funny. Woo. Oh, Lord. Yep. But I'm like, my husband, he's getting older. He don't want to do a whole lot of yard work. Plus, he's still working. And then I have sinus issues, so I'm not going to be out there long. I will help do some. But it's not my forte either. I like landscaping. I think it's very beautiful. I just don't want to do it. So I have to clean out my flower beds still. I haven't even done that. I'm sure I got new growth underneath. And I need to organize my garage because my husband, he just puts stuff back in there, and I want to straighten it up a little bit so I can get in and out. And I have like my dollies in there when I do lectures and stuff, so I want to make sure I can get to stuff when it's time for me to go back to work with quilt lectures and classes and stuff. So we're on number 3 of this background. What time is it? Let's see. 10:35. Maybe we'll do the third color for the green and teals if we get enough time, and then we'll be done sewing for today. And I think that would be the same spot we left off on night number 1, if I make it that far. I think I should. I'm ready to put the quilt top together now. This is number 4. I'll just cut that one off and have it ready. Well, if I cut this tree down, I won't have a tree in my yard, but my neighbors have trees on either side of me, large trees, and across the street. So it's still other trees. They're just not gumball trees. So that's a good thing, but they can go play in their yard. Play in somebody else's yard. I'm sick of the squirrels. Ugh. Let's see if somebody had something that I didn't say. I know I saw the woodpecker. Dee Dee says it will cost thousands to remove the tree. It will have to come down in sections so it doesn't fall on a house. You can't just fell a tree that size near homes. I have 34 acres of woods. And I live in an area where that tree, they got room, and when they rope it, the way our houses are situated, that tree can go onto the neighbor's lawn. They've done it to my yard when they've taken down the neighbor's tree, where they had the neighbor's tree in my yard for, for 2 days. It was a 2-day job. So they'll make that tree, they'll cut wedges in it so it'll fall towards my neighbor's yard, because it has a full clearance over there. And so they'll just knock on the door and tell them, whereas I'll make sure they do that, because they sure did knock on my door and tell me when they did it to me. But I'll make sure that they tell them that they're going to be knocking the tree down. And the people who live there are renters, so I don't even think that they're going to be even concerned. And all they're going to do is put a note on the door. So yeah, but they got plenty of room to get it down. They don't even have to cut it in sections. Our houses are spaced where you would normally have, like, our address is skipped because you could have actually put another house there. So we've got plenty of room in between our houses. Sort of, kind of. The house that it's going to go in front of, that's a corner house. And so it's kind of shaped funny by my house, but it's a funny shape. My house is the first house on the actual street, and it has plenty of yard space. And that corner helps because the house isn't sitting on the corner. It's far back off the street. But I'm going to look into it. And Tucker said it has not been warm enough in Pennsylvania to get out and do anything. Wow, we have had some good days. It's cool now. It's in the 40s for the most part. But we have had a couple of days where we had 80s, even 90s, I think. I think I'm finished with those. Let me check and make sure. Yep. So we got 3 white sections and 2 of the color sections. So if I put one more set of color on, I think we'll be where we left off in the first video. But I'm losing time. 5 minutes have passed. So just to put the whites on. It takes longer to put the color ones on because I got to watch and make sure that I haven't used the color already. So she said we had one a few years ago. It was 2000, so good luck. I will get some estimates. I know that when we first moved in, I had got an estimate from, we have a gamble tree. It's located in our area, in my subdivision. And so I asked them how much would it cost to do my tree, and they gave me something like $6,000 or $7,000 when we first moved in. And I go, I guess they won't be taking my tree down. I'm like, you would have thought that they would give their community a discount, but nope. So I figure it's going to be expensive. I do know somebody that I normally hire to trim my branches, and he works for the St. Louis City Forestry Department, so he cuts trees down on the side. And so I may have to ask him, and then he may have to take it down in sections if he does it. If a big company does it, they can take it down within a couple of days. He'll probably have to take it down because he can only hold so much. He's got the machinery that you put the branches in to make them into sawdust, but it only holds so much, and he'd have to go do dumps and stuff, so he can only do so much with his one piece of equipment, whereas they would have more equipment there for that tree. But we're gonna do something about that tree. It's gotta go. Here's some green. we'll just pull the green down because my blocks are getting bigger now. And I'm losing space on my board. So we're going to do green right here. I'm just turning it around. Spin around. We'll see if I make it to 11 o'clock. What time is it? Another 5 minutes gone. 43. 3 minutes gone. Just pressing. I have to press these. Okay, this one's already in there. At least I'm still looking or trying to look, and then when I get through pressing the last one, I'll see the culprit. So this one is green, correct? Yep. My pieces are getting bigger now where I could be using pins, but who wants to do that? We'll just keep going. I see Kim's comment says, as long as it doesn't spin, it will work. My husband and I did logging for a while, and they do spin on occasions. Okay. Well, I'm going to get the estimates for them to take out the stump and to leave the stump. So we'll have two, I'll get two prices from everybody. Dee Dee says she lives on her great-grandfather's farm, or what's left of it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I see Quote Gal's comment too, so okay. Thank you, Quote Gal. She says beautiful block. She says, Diane said, that's crazy. Look for a tree cutter now. Lots of people are out of work. Yeah, that's what I need to do, is I need to start calling people now. I was trying to wait originally because I thought maybe they weren't working because I haven't been out. But then when I went out last week, I saw people, I saw the construction crews in my neighborhood. A lot of construction work is being done now because people, as many people are not on the roads. And I saw people trimming trees. And I was like, oh, so they are still working. And I didn't know they were still working. And they don't have to contact me to trim the tree. Most of them are going to mail their estimates in. Well, on other stuff, they normally mail their estimates in. They don't normally tell you right there what the price is. Okay, take this one off. Mary says, we have 3 cottonwoods behind our house. Hate those trees, but I got to bid at least $1,000 per tree to take out. Okay, so I'm going to see. I'm hoping that it's not going to be as much. I'm going to see. So, I've been wanting to remodel my kitchen, so I have been saving money for that. But if I can get this tree out, I prefer to get rid of this tree. I want to remodel that kitchen. I did my bathroom and my front porch, and I've been waiting to do the kitchen. Yeah, make sure they are insured and you are indemnified. Otherwise, they screw up and hurt somebody, you get sued. Okay, I'll make sure. Thank you for that. That was Dee Dee. And make sure they include hauling the tree away. I would suppose that that would include that, but I will make sure that I ask that, because I would not want that to be my surprise at the end of it all, because I got all this wood sitting in my yard. I might keep a couple of discs and see if I can make something out of them, but other than that, I don't really want a whole lot of tree. I don't have a fireplace in my house, so my sister has a fireplace. She might want some, but I don't want a whole lot of wood. No, I don't. Most of the time, they just take it and they put it right in the grinder and grind them up. So, that I've seen. We got two sides of green almost on. Now we got to do the teal side. We got 10 minutes. Oops, I missed this one completely on the other side. It's always one that's hiding somewhere. It needs another piece before it can get the teal. It's always one. Okay. So we got 3 on everything else but that one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let me just leave one of these out. This one's good. And then we'll bring the tails down. And this is our last set of sewing. 12 more seams. Okay, teal, got that one. This is the one that's similar but not the same. My bobbin has held up this whole time. That's good. Now I gotta take this off so I can get that green one that I didn't have a teal one on. This one has a teal. This one does not. June Hanson, so people like wood for firewood. Yeah, we have a park where you can drop wood if you trim your own trees. And then people that want it for firewood, they come up and they get it. And the park is not too far from my house where we drop it. It's not your regular play-in park with the playground baseball thing. It's just a little wooded area. and people can go there and pick it up. A lot of people do their own trees and drop the stuff over there, but I'm not the one. And I don't want my husband climbing that tree to cut branches off branch by branch either. So, that's what some of the people do over here. They'll do it themselves, branch by branch. But I'm not interested in that. Okay, so now we gotta press so I know what teals I've already used. Dee Dee says, I kept a wedge of a tree once and painted it like a slice of watermelon, and I used it as a holder for a door. It's really cute. Be sure to put the seeds in. That's pretty cute. It's like if I'm going to take the tree down, I at least want a souvenir of it, and that's a great thing to do with it. Make something to hang on the door. And when you cut your branches or trees, contact your local zoos to see if they are branches that the zoo animals can eat and donate them. Didn't know that either. If they come pick them up, they can have it. Okay, so I got to cut all of these off so I can put teal on the second side, and it looked like we will meet the timeline. I did a lot of talking today because last time I did an intro and got to this point with no problem. So I did too much chatting, not enough sewing. So it'll be an easy chat the next time we come back, because we'll just have 8 pieces, 8, 9, 10 pieces to sew on. No, 8. It'll be 12 pieces to sew on, sorry, on each one. So 1, 2, 3, 6 times 4 is 24, 25. We sewed 25 pieces on so far. We got 37 pieces. So 5 more seams. Five minutes left. Okay, oops, got with this one I haven't pressed. All right, let's do it. We got this covered. Let's see. One more piece here. This one's been used. This one's been used, but not that one. I'm hearing beeping sounds. I don't know if it's something on a television in another room or what. How come I got a green over here with the teals? Like, see, it's always something. Like, it must have gotten into the teal stack because the greens are put up. This is just not right at all. Just not right. Want to see me rip. And I do have my seam ripper But I'm using the snippers instead. Isn't that crazy? I hate ripping too. Maybe I didn't bring it. Oh, it's right here. I'm like, maybe I didn't bring it back. I knew something was going to mess with my 5 minutes. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. It's like, how did a green get on here? Just rude. Okay. Because I kept turning it, trying to figure out, now, where does this piece go? Just rude. Thanks, Kim. She's reminding everybody to thumbs up the video. Thank you so much. We are almost to the end. I still got 50 people, so thank you all so much for hanging in here with me. I think I got, trying to make sure I didn't do another green one somewhere, but I think it was just in the teal pile. So one more piece and we're done. What time is it? 10:59. Oh my gosh. 10:59. I'm sliding in under the radar. Ripping was trying to take me out. We're gonna just cut this here because I'm gonna press all of these later. So when I do come back, they'll be ready to all go to the next step. So yes, made it. Almost. I didn't get a chance to press, but done pretty good. Diane says, T, the whole point is to have chat and then so. Otherwise, you may as well sew along. All right. Serena Gonzalez is here, says, aloha from Hawaii. Love your channel. Thank you so much, Serena. Appreciate that. We're on our way out. We've been sewing since 9 p.m. We've been here for 2 hours. Mary says, Dee Dee, I had a branch of a tree that I stuck in cement and painted it white and decorated it for each season. That's a great idea too. Diane says, I don't know, T, you were thinking about that tree instead of teal. Yes. Peggy says, enjoy being with you all tonight. Good night, all. Good night, Peggy. Looking forward to quilting your quilt tops, Peggy. Well, one of us has been sewing. That's it, Mary. Well, yes. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm not going to hold too long since I've been on for 2 hours. And say good night. And thank you all so much for coming on to do the sewing chat with me. Be back Monday, hopefully at 1 p.m. if nothing else comes up, where we will sew again for the extra one. We want to do one in the daytime. So I will see you all Monday at 1 p.m. if nothing else shows up on my schedule. Good night, everybody. Stay blessed and stay safe. And remember, when you go out, to wear your mask as well. Bye-bye, everybody. Give you all. Rosewall says, I sure enjoyed this. I have been stitching on my binding. Good night. Good night. Cherie saying good night to everybody. Dee Dee saying good night. I can't get you all. Mary, my brother, says good night, everyone. And Tiffany says bye, T, and everybody. Good night. See ya.